Welcome back to Documentalists. Imagine wielding the weather like a tool, summoning rain to save crops, turning storms into war machines, or dimming the sun to cool an overheating planet. It's not a wild dream, it's geoengineering, humanity's bold and maybe reckless attempt to rewrite Earth's climate rules. From 19th century pioneers to shadowy military ops, and now stunning confessions about what's floating above us, we're diving deep into this saga. We'll meet the inventors, brilliant, quirky, driven souls who dared to dream big. We'll unravel their patents and explore why some say we're robbing the planet of what it needs to survive. This is a full-on journey, so grab a brew and settle in and enjoy the ride. Our story begins in 1841 in a young America buzzing with ambition. Entered James Espy, a towering figure in meteorology, dubbed the Storm King for his relentless pursuit of weather secrets. Born on May 9, 1785 in Westmoreland County, Pennsylvania, Espy started as a lawyer but fell hard for science after teaching at Franklin Institute in Philadelphia. Self-educated in meteorology, he became a trailblazer, arguing storms were driven by heat and moisture. It was radical stuff back then. From 1842 to 1858, he served as the first chief of the United States Weather Bureau, shaping how we track weather today. In his 1841 book, The Philosophy of Storms, Espy pitched a wild idea: light massive bonfires across vast landscapes to heat the air, trigger updrafts and bring rain to drought-ravaged farms. He calculated it'd take miles of burning forests. Impractical, sure, but his passion was saving lives from nature's whims. There was no patent, no big test, but Espy's fiery vision kicks off our geoengineering tale. Fast forward to July 16, 1891. Meet Louis Gathman, a Prussian-born inventor with a restless mind and a knack for big ideas. Born August 1, 1843 in Memel, Prussia, now Klaipėda, Lithuania, Gathman fled to America in his 20s, landing in Chicago by the 1870s. A mechanical genius, he filed over 40 patents. Think artillery shells, explosives, and even a fruit peeler, but weather control was his obsession. On that summer day in 1891, he secures patent US 462795A, the method for producing rainfall. His plan? Fire liquid carbon dioxide into clouds to chill them and spark rain. Gathman wasn't just dreaming, he tested small-scale versions believing he could help farmers and cities. No records show it being scaled up big, but his patent's a milestone proving that geoengineering's moving from wild theories to tangible blueprints. Now we hit October 31st, 1905, and the stakes get electric. Hermann Clausen, a German-American inventor with a flair for the dramatic, steps up. Born in the late 1860s in Germany, the exact details are murky. Clausen was a high-voltage wizard, often likened to Nikola Tesla for his boundary-pushing electrical work. He moved to the US chasing patents on everything from atmospheric electricity harvesting to power generation. His engineering gem? Patent US 803180A, a device to shoot high-potential electrical discharges into the atmosphere to tweak weather patterns. Clausen believed he could tap Earth's electrical field, dreaming of rain on demand or energy from thin air. No evidence it was built or widely used. His ideas were ahead of the tech, but Clausen's spark lights up the path to bolder experiments. Jump to February 22, 1927, Warren F. Bleecker, an American inventor riding the aviation boom, takes his swing. Born around 1890, details are scarce. Bleecker was a product of the roaring 20s when planes were the future. Likely self-taught or trained in mechanics, he filed multiple patents tied to flight tech, but patent US 1619183A stands out. A method to release smoke clouds from aircraft. Was it for weather control like fog or rain, or military cover? Bleecker didn't say much. He was a quiet tinkerer, but his idea taps into the era's fascination with aerial power. No confirmed use, but it foreshadows how planes could seed the skies, especially in war. Bleecker's a mystery man, but his patent's a key brick in the geoengineering wall. By November 13th, 1946, geoengineering leaps forward. Vincent Schaefer, a self-taught chemist at General Electric, makes history. Born July 4th, 1906 in Schenectady, New York, Schaefer was a nature lover, hiking, skiing, always curious. He dropped out of school but landed at General Electric working under Nobel laureate Irving Langmuir. One cold day, frustrated by a lab fridge, he drops dry ice, solid CO2, into a cloud chamber and triggers snowflakes. It's a fluke turned genius. Enter Bernard von Gucht, his colleague, born August 29, 1914 in Indianapolis. Bernard, brother of author Kurt von Gucht, was a PhD chemist from MIT, brilliant and meticulous. He refined Schaefer's find with silver iodide, a crystalline compound that mimics ice, making cloud seeding practical. No single patent locks it down. General Electric shared it freely, but Schaefer's grit and von Gucht's brainpower turned rainmaking into reality from farms to battlefields. Now we hit March 20th, 1967. The Vietnam War's in chaos and President Lyndon B. Johnson unleashes Operation Popeye. Born on the 27th of August 1908 in Stonewall, Texas, Lyndon B. Johnson was a political giant, teacher, senator, vice president, then president after JFK's 1963 assassination. Known for his Great Society reforms, he was also a Cold War hawk. Popeye, a covert op run by the US Air Force's 54th Weather Reconnaissance Squadron, tough pilots in WC-130s and F-4s, target the Ho Chi Minh Trail. Over 2,600 sorties, they drop 47,000 silver iodide flares, stretching monsoons 30% longer to flood trails and spark landslides. Patents like Bleecker's might have influenced the delivery, though no direct links confirmed. Lyndon B. Johnson saw it as a sneaky win, but it unravels. Silver iodide is a poison pill, a heavy metal that builds up in soil and water, threatening fish, plants and human brains with neurological risks. It hit civilians hard, and when it leaks in 1972 via the New York Times, the world's livid. By 1977, the UN's ENMOD treaty, driven by global outrage, bans weather warfare. Lyndon B. Johnson's legacy, already tangled with Vietnam, takes another blow. Shift to August 15, 1969, and 500,000 people swarm Bethel, New York for Woodstock, a 3-day explosion of peace-loving music. Picture this: 32 acts from Jimi Hendrix to The Who rocking a dairy farm turned festival ground. But then torrential rain hits, turning it into a muddy quagmire. Tents collapse, food stalls flood, and attendees slide through the chaos, yet the vibe stays electric. Some start asking, was this rain natural or something more? Operation Popeye running full tilt in Vietnam. Could the US have seeded clouds here to disrupt the counterculture? The timing's suspicious and whispers grow, but weather records show a low pressure system rolled in. No patents, no flares, no proof tie it to geoengineering. Still, the coincidence keeps the question simmering. By August 11, 1987, geoengineering aims higher, climate itself. Bernard J. Eastland, a physicist born in 1938 in Minnesota, patents US 4686605A. With a PhD from Columbia and a career in nuclear fusion and plasma physics, Eastland worked for ARCO and consulted HARP, a US Air Force and Navy project running until 2014, allegedly. His idea? Blast the ionosphere with radio waves to tweak it. Some wonder about weather control, evidence is shaky. Then, on March 26, 1991, David B. Chang and Ai Fu Shi, engineers at Hughes Aircraft, file US 500-3186A, stratospheric Wellspack seeding. Chang, a physicist with a PhD, and Shi, an electrical engineer, were innovators at a firm building satellites and radar. They proposed spraying aluminium oxide to reflect sunlight and cool Earth. It's not used then, but it's a blueprint for now. Risks loom. Aluminium oxide could pollute soil or lungs. Sulfur dioxide might spark acid rain or thin the ozone. It's a leap into uncharted skies. Here we are in 2025 and geoengineering's buzzing. David Keith from Canada, a Harvard professor of applied physics and climate tech pioneer, admits his team's testing aluminium oxide for solar radiation management to reflect sunlight. Keith's a pretty big deal, PhD from MIT, founder of carbon engineering and a voice in climate debates. Look up! Those trails, chemtrails, they linger and spread, unlike contrails that vanish fast. Keith's carbon engineering, backed by Bill Gates, the Microsoft genius turned global philanthropist, uses giant machines to suck CO2 from the air. Then there's 2XL Aviation, launched by Andy Offer and Sarah Offer, ex-RAF pilots. Andy, a logistics master, and Sarah, a flight ops expert, started it in 2005 after years of flying for Britain. Their 2XL Geo division maps ecosystems with hyperspectral imaging from Cyril Aerodrome. Not spraying, but deep in climate tech. But the skies aren't just buzzing here. Over in Dubai, they've been rolling the geoengineering dice for decades with cloud seeding, and it's a tale of ambition and chaos. Since the 1990s, the United Arab Emirates has been a pioneer in the Middle East using cloud seeding to squeeze water from a desert sky that barely gives 4 inches of rain a year. The National Centre of Meteorology runs the show, sending up planes loaded with hygroscopic salt flares, natural salt, not silver iodide, to tease rain from clouds. By 2025, they're clocking over 1,000 hours of seeding annually, aiming to boost rainfall by 10 to 30% and fight water scarcity in a place where summer hits 122 degrees Fahrenheit. Sheikh Mansour bin Zayed Al Nahyan, the UAE's vice president, even poured $20 million into research back in the early 2000s, partnering with NASA and the National Centre for Atmospheric Research to refine the tech. It sounds like a win, well, until it isn't. Take April 2024. Dubai gets slammed with over 5.59 inches of rain in 24 hours. That's more than a year's worth, flooding highways, swamping Dubai International Airport and leaving cars stranded like shipwrecks. The National Centre of Meteorology says no seeding happened during that storm. It was a national mesoscale convective system induced by climate change, allegedly. But rewind to 2019. Cloud seeding missions ramped up rainfall and Dubai drowned in floods that overwhelmed its drainage systems. Pumps worked overtime, and the UAE pledged 500 million dirhams, that's $136 million, to fix flood defences after 2020 storms hit again. Sharjah's seen it too, decades of urban flooding worsened by extra rain intensity, some linked to seeding. Experts argue it's not the full story. Dubai's concrete jungle can't soak up water like soil could, but when you see deep clouds you might get a deluge that drops too fast and too hard. Back to the bigger picture, it's dicey everywhere. Solar radiation management slashes vitamin D, crucial for bones, immunity and mood. Less means osteoporosis, infections and depression. Photosynthesis tanks. Plants need sunlight to turn CO2 into growth. Block it and crops like corn falter, food chains collapse, forests fade and bees die. CO2 is vital, Earth needs it. Higher levels once fed lush jungles. Cut it too much and we starve life. Aluminium oxide might hit brains. Alzheimer's links linger. Dubai's lesson? Tweak the sky and nature might tweak you back. Floods, not just rain. It's a high stakes roll and the dice are still tumbling. Pushback is growing. Mexico's banning it after a 2022 rogue solar radiation management test citing ecological and ethical havoc. Tennessee's 2024 law says no, fearing health, plants and CO2's role. Illinois, Kentucky, New Hampshire, Rhode Island and South Dakota draft bans too, alarmed by trails and risks. The UN's 1992 Convention on Biological Diversity holds a moratorium. 190 nations limit it to small tests. African nations demand more, worried about climate justice and who suffers. It's a worldwide tug of war. From 1841 to 2025 it's been quite a journey. Espy's blazing vision, Gathman's CO2 blast, Plowson's electric dreams, Bleeker's smoky skies, Schaefer and Vongut's rain, Johnson's Vietnam deluge, Woodstock's muddy riddle, Eastland's waves, Chang and Shi's seeding, and now Keith's aluminium haze. Over 100 patents later, a few like Popeye hit hard. Silver iodide, aluminium oxide, they're potent but perilous. Vitamin D drops, plant starvation, health risks, Earth needs CO2, slash it and life fades. Keith, Gates and the offers push tech, Mexico, Tennessee and beyond push back. Look up, those trails aren't contrails. Are we saving Earth or breaking it? Tell me below, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Hit like and subscribe if you wish and keep watching those skies.